So this is a weird video for me. I sat down and this began with, I'm going to make a video about some NBA players, some NBA rookies in 2020 that already look like busts. It's a video that I do pretty much every season where you kind of point out some guys in the top 10 and the top 15 that just did not impress in their rookie season as we're now winding down towards the end of the year. And I started to look and I got to, like 2 or 3 guys, but then I realized pretty much everybody that's actually, getting real time right now in the NBA that is actually in the league in this first round or in this top 20 are being really productive NBA players. And that's where I landed for this video. That a lot of these guys aren't busts and most of them are productive. Which is in stark contrast to kind of what the expectations were for this draft class. Everybody thought it was a weak class. It's turned out to be a very strong and a deep draft class. And that is what we're talking about in today's video. But really quickly before we get started, if you enjoy content like this, then consider subscribing. I like to remind people I upload NBA stuff every single day. If that's something you're looking for, the most consistent NBA content on YouTube, then consider subscribing. You can also leave a like rating on the videos as well, and you can check me out at various socials in a Linktree link down in the description below. With those things said, let's talk about this class. So at the top, it's clear, it's obvious. Some of the top rookies in this class include Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, the 2 guys that are going to be fighting for the Rookie of the Year in this class. For me personally, if you're voting on the award today, I think you have to give it to Anthony Edwards because of the amount of games LaMelo Ball has missed. But if you're asking me to pick a player in the long term that I would like to add to my franchise, it's LaMelo Ball. We can briefly have a conversation about those 2 guys. Ball, I feel like, possesses a more unique skill set than Edwards. I feel like his passing ability and his unselfishness is an asset that I would rather have on my roster moving forward. I feel like it's easier. Assuming LaMelo can shoot the ball well from 3-point range, I feel like it's easier to fit him around whatever pieces you get moving forward. And his unselfishness is such an asset, especially to a young, developing team. And I personally would rather have that over someone in Anthony Edwards that is clearly very, very talented. And I don't think you can say at all at this point that it was a mistake to take him first overall. I think he's validated being the first overall selection just from a talent perspective. I just question if we're looking at an Andrew Wiggins type situation here, where a guy puts up really good statistics in his first couple of seasons, has some really great highlight moments, but in the long term, we realize that has more to do with the volume and the individual talent of the player rather than his ability to actually fit in the NBA and have a long, productive NBA career. Those are kind of my question marks with Anthony Edwards, but unquestionably, he's been an incredibly productive NBA rookie. The other guy to look at here in the top 3 of this class, of course, is James Wiseman. I'm not necessarily ranking these players. I'm just kind of have a conversation about them. Clearly a talented guy. I mean, James Wiseman, talent should absolutely not be a question mark for him. It was a very weird situation for him coming into the league. Him and LaMelo both, not having college experience. Wiseman basically just working out for a year in preparation for the draft over a year because of the weird circumstances of the 2020 draft. I'm kind of mixed on Wiseman. I think the talent is there. I don't know if he's really going to be able to put it all together, but clearly an intriguing second overall pick. And again, I'm just going to continue to go through here so we all understand just how good this 2020 class has been. Patrick Williams, I just made a video about him the other day about how he's one of the most overlooked, if not the most overlooked player in this 2020 class. An incredible individual defender that has a smooth offensive game that's only going to continue to grow and continue to get better over the years as he spends more time in the league. Another guy that I really, really like out of this class and is being productive there for Chicago. Isaac Okoro, someone I don't love, right, because he's still so raw offensively, but defensively, it's clearly still there. And for a Cavs team that doesn't have a ton of real positives defensively, he's a guy that's going to continue to be productive for them over the years. I don't know that he's going to be an outstanding top 5 pick in retrospect as we look at it down the road, but certainly he's going to be a solid NBA player. Okungwo in Atlanta hasn't gotten a ton of run because they have a good amount of bigs there, but someone that certainly has potential. And again, when you just look up and down this top 15 or 20 or so, Killian Hayes has looked pretty decent since coming back from injury. Obi Toppin, been a little bit up and down. In the preseason, he looked like baby Amari Stoudemire, and then, maybe not so much lately. Dealt with some injury stuff, whatever. He'll probably figure it out, in worst case, be like an NBA role player. Denny had some good moments. I felt like Denny looked smoother and more comfortable than I expected him to be coming into the league. Unfortunately, he did get hurt. And I'm interested to see kind of how he's used moving forward if Washington potentially resets things this offseason or the following, if they move Beal and or Westbrook, where Denny fits into that in a bit more of a high usage role. He's an intriguing one for me. The really tough one for me within this top 10 right now is Jalen Smith at 10. It's a pick that not a lot of people really liked. And for a Suns team that could potentially end up with the best record in the entire Western Conference this year, there are certainly, as we go down here, some more impactful guys you would have liked to see on that roster. Ultimately, it's a very deep Suns roster, so pretty much any rookie probably wouldn't have gotten much of an opportunity to play this year. But Smith positionally seems like a guy that should be getting more run, and I'm not fully confident about his future as an NBA player, unfortunately. But apart from that, then you go and look at, Vassell in San Antonio has had a decent rookie year. Tyrese Halliburton has been awesome as a 12th overall pick. There are a lot of teams within this top 11 or 12 that I'm sure are looking at themselves and thinking that it was a significant mistake not going and getting Tyrese Halliburton. Unfortunately suffered an injury recently, but it's just one of those guys that's going to have a long, productive NBA career as a winning player. I don't know where the ceiling ultimately ends up for Halliburton, but when you have him on your team for the next 10 years, you're going to worst case be a decent team, potentially with the ceiling to go up even higher than that, depending on the guys you surround him with. And again, just an example of someone else that's being a productive NBA player as a rookie. I know that the Pelicans really, really like the Lewis kid because they ended up moving some different pieces and trying to get him some more run at the guard spots. Nesmith in Boston has been playing better lately. Cole Anthony has had good moments in Orlando as a scorer. Isaiah Stewart, every single Pistons fan yelled at me for not talking about him in the Pistons video the other day. Poku, more of a meme than anything else right now, but certainly a player that has at least a good amount of talent. He just needs to kind of find a way to rein it all in. Josh Green is someone that I know Mavs fans like, kind of the sneaky potential of him moving forward. Sadiq Bey, fantastic in Detroit, one of the top 4, top 5 guys in Rookie of the Year voting for me personally for this season. Tyrese Maxey has a ton of potential there in Philadelphia as a potential shot creator and a perimeter guy. Precious Achiuwa is someone that is like perfect for Miami. All he does is hustle and run around, provide energy and defense. RJ Hampton has had some interesting moments in Orlando as well, is going to get plenty of opportunity to improve. Peyton Pritchard has been a rotation guy for Boston. Same thing for Emmanuel Quickley. And, as we go down and down, okay, maybe you're not looking at a ton of guys here in the second round, but just think about the number of players that I just talked about within this first round, okay? And the ones that actually, came over and actually played this year, most of them are productive NBA players. That's incredibly rare for a class, especially a class that people didn't think was going to be that great. And I think that's the point here, was that we all kind of misjudged the 2020 class. We all looked at the top and we're like, Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman. We weren't necessarily incredibly excited about the players at the top, and that's kind of how we judge classes, right? Like, there's no Zion in this class. There's no LeBron in this class, right? But what we missed was there was an incredible amount of depth in this draft class. And if you look, this is the whole reason why I made this video. If you look at it and you're actively looking for guys that could possibly be quote unquote busts in this class, okay? 5, Okoro could potentially not be a great NBA player. If he doesn't figure it out offensively, it's going to be tough to have him on the floor, right? Okungwo, not getting a ton of run. It's obviously too early to tell, but you never know. Obi Toppin is another guy. Those are the 3 guys I looked at, and I was like, And Jalen Smith. Those are the 4 guys I looked at, and I thought maybe I could start to build a bust list out of those 4 guys, but ultimately I came away from this class impressed, and I'm looking at this group as one that's going to continue to be impactful. When we get to 2030, there's still going to be a lot of players that were drafted in this class that are going to be productive NBA players, and when you look back at past draft classes, that is not always the case, and productivity and depth is actually a really difficult thing to find outside of the top 3 or 4 in most draft classes, and this will be an interesting one. Some things I'm keeping an eye on for this class in the long term. Is Anthony Edwards really going to be this guy? I think it depends on what happens with this Minnesota pick this year and who they bring in and how he kind of meshes once Minnesota hopefully at some point ends up being good. Is Anthony Edwards a significant part of that, or is he someone that they still can't really figure out his role as potentially Cade Cunningham, Karl-Anthony Towns? Those guys start to really all kind of mesh and develop together. Did they do too much with Anthony Edwards this year to the point where he's going to be fitting out more than he's going to be fitting in, despite clearly a ton of talent and having a great, especially second half of his rookie season? Wiseman is the ultimate trump card here. He could be the bridge towards the next era of Warriors basketball, or he could be the guy that allows them to be championship contenders in these last few years of really, really good Steph-level basketball there in Golden State. Or he could be nothing, and he could be someone that just keeps getting bounced around and moved around and is never really seen as a significant asset past this season. big question marks. The guy that I love the most, though, of course, is LaMelo, and he's going to get plenty of media coverage, and he's going to be a guy that everybody's going to be paying attention to, and hopefully he can deal with that properly, continue to develop, as a driver and as a shooter, and, has the size to be a decent defender as well, if that's something that he wants to do, and ultimately provides interest and upside and excitement around a Charlotte team that certainly needed it, and is one of those guys that has kind of completely changed what they're doing moving forward, and that's what you're looking for out of potentially a first overall pick, and they got him at 3. Williams is someone that I love moving forward. Again, I'm interested in Denny. There's a couple of different wing guys here in the 11 to 17 range you could be interested in as well. So my point is, the 2020 draft class is looking good, looking much, much better than people expected it to look at the end of this first season. I don't think a lot of people thought there were going to be some high impact guys in this class in this first year. And ultimately, of course, that has been proven wrong. Let me know down in the comment section below who you think your favorite rookie is. Maybe not the best rookie out of this class. Who do you think is your favorite rookie out of this class? For me, I would go LaMelo, and then I'd go Halliburton right underneath that. And then, everybody else, there's kind of a significant gap in terms of my favorite players to watch, my favorite players in terms of long-term fit on pretty much any roster. That's where I'm at. Let me know who you guys' favorites in this class are. But yeah, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen for more videos every single day. Leave a like rating as well, and that social link is down in the description below. You want to check that out. With all those things said, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.